Hey, welcome to another episode of the Soul Nourishment Podcast. We are so grateful to have you with us today. I'm Paola, a well-being and spiritual growth mentor, and I'm here with my co-host, Gedalia Walls. And together we are here to bring more meaning and awareness into everyday life. And today we are diving into a beautiful and powerful topic, how to bring holiness into regular activities, right?
Yep.
Gedalia?
Yes, we're going to be talking about that. We talked about it a little bit in the last podcast, and we'll explore it in greater detail for this time.
Mm-hmm. And understanding that not just in the moments of prayer or meditation, but in the small things like, as we said before, doing the dishes or getting dressed in our morning routine, we can always add this holiness to everything that we do because the truth is there's no separation between the spiritual and the physical. Everything we do can become sacred and we bring presence and intention to it, right?
Yes, we can go ahead and take even the simplest things and elevate them through our actions and how we think about them. Basically, we look at it or we perceive it in our mind as being something that is more than just a menial task. We look at it as something, an action that we do, which elevates the actions that in which we engage.
Mhm. Can you give me examples how do you bring this holiness to the simple routine, like the things that you do in the daily basis?
Yeah, I mean, it's been things of this nature have been around for a long time. There are ways in which you can express gratitude for the simple things you experience every day. Imbuing gratitude, meaning to go ahead and express verbally a statement of "I am grateful for." You can, in that sense, elevate the holiness of simple routines that you perform every single day. So, for example, you could wake up in the morning and make a verbal statement of being grateful that I am able to get up in the morning. You can make a statement, I am able to sit up in bed. And the reason why these are important is because we shouldn't take these things for granted. Oh, we're somehow owed these things. No, the truth is that we should understand that having our own body function in a certain way is something for which we should be grateful, and we should be expressing statements of thanks, or at least to acknowledge how these things to continue to operate are something with which we should be grateful. And so you could start with everything as simple from I'm waking up and I'm grateful for that. I'm sitting up. I can put my feet on the floor. That's not everybody can do that. It's something to be appreciative of the fact that we can do that. You can stand up, you can walk, you can do all of these simple functions. And by making expressions of being grateful for our ability to do these tasks, number one, it makes us aware of those things. And I think you'd agree, awareness is really important, right?
Yeah, yeah. And also it's like when I talk a lot about energy, right? So like I feel that when you train your brain to be grateful for everything, this exchanging that you have with energy constantly, with people, places, objects like your bed when you wake up, the sounds, you expand your vessel. You're telling to the creator, I'm so happy with what I have that like bring me more. I deserve. You attract what you are and you're grateful, more like goodness start coming. You train your brain and your vision for things. And it's more easy to have good intentions into your daily life when you train the way you see
I
things.
remember I remember what you're talking about now. That when you make yourself what I think you were referring to is when you make yourself a vessel to receive things, you open yourself up to receive things that are good. And that's what you want to create, is you want to make yourself available to receive that. And you can receive things that are good in your life by making sure that you have openness towards the things that happen that are beneficial to you. And so you
Yeah,
can, yeah, invite those things into yourself. Yes.
Yeah, and of course, life it's like full of challenges, and it's like the challenge is gonna come anyways. It's not like, okay, start being grateful for things and now I don't have any problem, like challenges they're like still coming, but you resolve in a different way because you're in a state of gratefulness, you're in the state of fullness. In this state, you also balance your nervous system to see things in a better way, understanding everything is for good. The challenge is here, so I'm expanding my vessel. So when you train your brain to be grateful when you wake up in the morning, you do your intention, your meditation, you say thank you for being alive, just opening your eyes and wow, I'm here. You see the challenges in a different way, I believe.
Yeah, and when we talk about being open to receiving certain feelings and also to be expressive and appreciative of what it is that we're receiving, it also makes us aware of how well they are functioning because we are attached to them. We know how it is possible for us to do these things. Every breath that we're taking, every step that we're taking, every moment that we stand, every moment that we sit, and to appreciate how these things are as a result of us opening ourselves up to functioning well and being well and doing well. And that's just in our own function. There's ways in which we can take that same type of feeling and make ourselves receive that same type of positive energy, like with food, right? Here's the word. The magic word is blueberries.
The blueberries.
Yeah.
Well, so we talk a lot about in the way we live, right? Like following Judaism, Kabbalah, we know the importance of blessing our food, that it's a very powerful practice. And when you say the brachot and like words of blessing, it helps us to connect, not just being grateful, but you elevate the spark of the divine in the things that you eat, right? It's an exchange of energy. It's a way of stepping out of entitlement that you said in the last time into the gratitude, right? It's not just like, okay, the blueberries, like, wow, there is an exchange here. You're elevating the energy of this food, and we have this exchange here.
Yeah, you when we talk about and we're talking about the barachot, we talk about verbalizing a blessing, our appreciation of the fact that the world provides us a multitude of things, and us receiving, we give it. You said this. You said this before also, which is we give it something, some energy, and it gives us something, some type of energy. And when we make a statement, when we say that we are grateful for something that we're eating, what we're saying is that there's this sort of dialectic going on between the different parts of our world. The idea that we should be grateful that there is a creation, that we are in that created space, and we are aware of our own being in that space. But at the same time, we should also be grateful and expressive of that gratefulness, that this creation is something that is available to us. It's not something that we are unable to connect with. We, on the contrary, we are very much engaged with it. And when we express our gratitude for it, we are making that energy exchange. We get the good feelings from let's say the blueberries, for example. If you're interacting with them, you're going to eat them. You are giving it a sense of appreciation, and it's going to give you its own energy back in a form of nourishment and just overall pleasure and enjoyment from the experience. So it helps play into that energy exchange idea for sure.
Yeah. And you can extend this action to everything that you do, like the gratefulness that you say to be grateful. Like when you said before about the washing the dishes, like it can be a spiritual moment if you're in your silence, for example, right? Like you here in Brazil, we don't, most of people don't have dishwasher. That's why we're saying that. So this is the example that I do here in Brazil right now. So feeling the water, noticing the movement, it's a kind of a meditation in action. But you can do this like after laundry, right? You're folding your clothes, and like, how can you pay attention in what you're doing? You know what I mean? Or like if you commuting or you're walking, right? Like going to a place, like how can you make this moment as a moment of a reflection? instead of just jumping to distractions. You can breathe, you can observe, you can just be. Like, it's a small moments of mindfulness that can reconnect us to ourselves, right? It's in the silence. And we never make space to be silent anymore. We are always like catching up to a new song or another podcast we are here recording. But you know what I mean? Like, when is the time in your day that you just have a chance to be silent and really just be in your stillness?
Yeah, and being very intentional about completing different actions. So that is the sense of holiness that we bring to it. Is we set it aside, we make it special, we make the experience unique in and of itself. So, for example, you don't want to overextend this relationship. It's a very, when you're interacting with things, but in your activities as well, you do want to be very intentional about those activities. So when you're engaged in laundry, if you're doing it distracted, or if you're eating, you're doing it distracted, you often don't connect with the thing that you're eating. That energy exchange that we're talking about, it helps to give you a sense of fulfilledness, and when you're eating, satiety, a sense of being satisfied. And that doesn't seem to happen if you aren't giving it attention. And in some ways, it's like not watering a plant or not working on a relationship with another person. You have to nurture it, and you have to give it attention so that it provides you with the meaning that you would be seeking. And if you are not, you're distracted. So, for example, I've heard some dietitians say, and I've heard this commonly now, to not eat while distracting yourself. Don't watch YouTube. Don't watch TikTok. Don't watch TV. Even that's when people very often would watch TV. Some of the best Seinfeld episodes were on during dinner time many years ago. So
Yeah.
the idea is that when you better connect with your food and you become more intentional, you have more appreciation for what it is, and you don't tend to overeat. Overeat is a sense of my filling something because I don't know what it feels like to be satisfied, because you're not really connecting with things around you. I see that with people, that the greater difficulty they have with connecting with their eating patterns and how they interact with food, when they don't let basically things interact with them. You're supposed to get some sensory feelings from eating. If you're not getting those senses, if you're not feeling full, and for some people it's very difficult. There's the gene known as the FTO gene, and it's a gene that has three components. And one of the things is whether or not you can sense being full or not. Like if you have a dog, every time you throw food at a dog, the dog will eat it, right? So, but
Yeah.
with dogs, they kind of know, okay, well, we'll burn up the energy. We won't burn up the energy. I will eat. I won't eat. But with people, if you are reckless like that with the eating, it can, if you don't have more connection with it, you don't make it special, you don't make it intentional, you don't connect, it's a big contributor to obesity, because your body constantly feels like it has, in order for it to connect, it constantly has to be engaged in eating, or has to be constantly entertained, or has to be constantly doing something. And it creates all of these negative patterns, and they don't open yourself up for goodness. It opens yourself up for constantly needing to be satiated, as opposed to experiencing satiety, the opposite. You need to constantly feed it.
Yeah. It's like, it's a practice. It's not something that overnight, okay, I start being more intentional with the things that I do. We're talking about food, but it can be for any other things, right? Like communicating with the other person, for example, not instead of just waiting for what you're gonna say next. Really listen to what the person is like sharing with you and talking to you. You're pay attention. This is like to be intentional, feeling that, and then you respond from your heart also. I think it's very related also to the heart. I think when you awaken the heart coherence, train, and this is a practice that you do. It's the same like weightlifting, that you have just to go there every week. It's the same with this kind of things that you're saying here. You have to train yourself every day you try. So you don't have to do the entire, like the whole day. Something that I tell to my students and clients, it's like just set up on your phone from, I don't know, just lunchtime or 11 a.m. till 1 p.m., I'm going to be more mindful and intentional with the things I'm doing. Okay, it's a lot for me. Now, lunchtime, I don't know, it's hard for me. Okay, I'm going to do this in the morning. Okay, you start with something, and then you just set up the alarm there. You put like, okay, I need to listen more or pay attention more, go slower. And this practice, it's what I was saying about the heart coherence. So when you listen to your heart, you start to awaken this intelligence of your heart. I feel that it's also more easy to be intentional with things, and it's a practice that you do for like 5 minutes, right? So you can place also in your phone, you put there and set up in the alarm before I'm eating. Let's say I eat at noon. So 5 to noon, I'm just gonna sit there and I place the hand in my heart and just feel my heartbeat and like take a deep inhale for 5, exhale for 5. You do that a couple of times, like 5 minutes. You feel your heart, and then here, to awaken this well-being in the heart coherence, you can, for example, think about, remember something good that happened to you in the past that makes you smile. You think of it, and then when you come back, your statement is different. You feel in a different way. Your voice change. And then it's more easy to disconnect, for example, from your phone and eat. Or, for example, that phone call, the important phone call that you have, instead of just like, oh, what I'm going to say. No, like come from a place from your heart. And then it's more easy to be intentional, I believe, for everything that you do. And it's a practice. And it's uncomfortable because at the beginning it's uncomfortable. It's not like woohoo amazing, because we are so like attached to our phone, like fast fast fast, go go go, and scrolling. So it's really a commitment, like, no, I understand that after I'm gonna feel better and my life is gonna be like more mindful. So I'm just gonna try, I'm just gonna start.
Yeah, and the spiritual component specifically is the fact that we feel that there's something outside of us that is providing us with that sense of fulfillment. So when we are doing these things and we are engaging in these small amounts of, let's say, the mindful meditation, the mindful eating, taking note of the mindful types of activities in which we are engaging, that is, they call that sometimes, like you mentioned with having vessels open, that is the sense of feeling a receiving of good. Like you feel that energy coming to you, that there's something good coming to you, and it fills something up that's missing. One of the things that I often see for people, especially those who struggle a lot, is the hardest thing with which they struggle, as you sort of touching on, is the commitment part of making sure that they're more intentional. Wait, I have to actually think about what I'm doing. Yeah, that's a big component of
Yeah.
how is my life look like this? Well, it's because you make decisions that to which you react to stimulation. I'm hungry, therefore I'm going to feed myself. How do I know when I'm not being hungry? I don't know. Keep feeding yourself until that shows up. But when you are attuned to what that feels like and you open yourself up to what good decisions look like, and when you get up in the morning, right? You stand up out of bed. That's a great example of how you can take such a simple thing for granted. There's a lot of people who can't get out of bed unless someone's there to help them. Large swaths of the population cannot do that. Someone has to stand there, help them out of the bed, help them go to the bathroom, and it's it's a loss of yourself and a loss of independence. That doesn't feel very spiritual to have someone doing that for you. It's you should be able to make those type of movements, those type of decisions intentionally, because I want them for me. I believe they're good for me. And when you're lacking that connection, that idea that somehow creation wants me to be a certain way, that the creator wants me to be a certain way, I should be great when I act grateful for it, and I focus myself on being a grateful person. Those other things, the constant need to eat, the constant need to stimulate, the constant need to do all of those things, are going to fall by the wayside. And in some ways, it's almost like ancient philosophy, and not like a modern one. But it's not hedonistic. The idea is that it's hedonistic would be something that constantly needs to satisfy you, and you don't know when that ends. But being more spiritual means you want to be more in tune with those feelings that are natural to you. Like the Creator has put those feelings in you, so that way you are able to connect with them, and everything feels like this is how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, it's not like suppressing, right, what you feel, but making space to feel whatever you're feeling in that moment. How did I wake up now? It's not like just you wake up and you're grateful. Okay, how am I tired? Like, did I have a good sleep? Like you question, you make space to understand what you're feeling, because also the connection with the creator, it's very much about how your heart is talking to you. I believe that you feel the energy of the creator in your heart. You have to make space to listen and to pause. I think that one Kabbalah teacher always was telling, like, "Oh, pause, what a pleasure," in a meaning, like you just pause and just feel, make space so the creator can connect with you and say what is the next step, and act in a proactive way and not in a reactive way. If you're all the time acting in a reactive way, don't complain after something's not coming out in a way that you wanted, because you also didn't make any space and room to feel what is the right thing to do, the right decision when you're eating. Like if you're in a buffet in a restaurant, what kind of like type of food you're taking? You're just hungry and you're taking the entire, you're not checking what is there. Let me
Just
see what is the better option. And you just go like, "Oh, okay, here in Brazil, we have a lot of this buffet." And then you just see people like with this amount of food, just taking everything, like mix like rice, beans, and then lasagna. And they put all the stuff, everything mixed. And it's like,
it's all there, but why does it really belong together?
just make space. And I'm not speaking a judgmental way, and just like explaining how we are. If you're not stopping, I would do the same, right? So just stop a little bit. Just, notice, be intentional with the things that you're doing. It's the same when you get an email that you're like super reactive. Okay, what life is bringing here for me, and not doing like to me. It's not to me, it's like for me. There's something here to exchange, right? To growth, to transform, and be intentional the way you're gonna respond, reply the email. You need to make this a space for everything that you do. That I'm just saying, the email, when you're talking to your neighbor, right now, like we see also with all this chaotic situation, like all the crazy stuff that is happening in the world, everybody wants to be right. Okay, my flag of truth, like it's not the moment also to, just to raise your truth, just understanding like, wait, what is the best thing to do here? It's being reactive, or it's going to be worth it to have all this stress and talking and arguing with this person right now? How can I be intentional and save more energy, life force?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
It's a way of connecting the holiness, right? Am I
Right.
saying that? Is that
Yeah, yeah,
correct?
yeah, yeah. So let's bring this all together for the audience. We'll wrap up the show with some points for action, things to consider. So let me phrase it to you this way. I'll ask you the question and then just put it together, wrap it all up nice and neat for the audience over here. What would be some good ways to imbue spirituality, to make our actions, such as those common occurrences every day, the getting up in the morning, the getting dressed, the washing the dishes, the preparing a meal? What are some ways that we could express our gratitude and make our activities more meaningful, more spiritual, and more satisfying?
Well, just the way we said, you have to make space, breathe, connect with your heart, make a space for you to really feel your body. Take a deep inhale, exhale slowly, set up your phone like, okay, time now to disconnect from everything. Now it's time to be intentional.
Right. So
Would
take
you
a deep breath
agree?
and focus on that task.
Just connect it to your heart. For
Right.
me, it's like if it's hard for you to, be mindful. Okay, what is your heart saying now? You can place in your heart and just like, okay, I'm going to eat now. Or I just woke up. How am I feeling now? You
Mhm.
just ask yourself, am I anxious now? I'm going to eat. Am I anxious? Okay, how can I slow down and just breathe? You just pause. That's the answer. You just pause.
Right. And then on top of that, to help you fill that sort of vessel of goodness, you want to express your gratitude. So you're sitting up. You want to take when you make that space there, right? When you take a breath, once you exhale, now you have space for the goodness to come in.
Now I'm grateful.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
the same. Yeah, I know we have to end, but it's just like, for example, sometimes I have a very chaotic, crazy day, and then I'm going to like, okay, I taught 5 yoga classes in a day, and then I'm just, in a rush. And then when I stop, I say, okay, now it's my time to practice. After I practice and I have this quiet moment, I understand that life is beautiful. It's like, wow, everything's so beautiful. It's like, why am I so stressed? Everything's so, I'm still having all my challenges, but it's easier to deal with. You know what I mean? It's like because you make space.
yeah, exactly, exactly. And you're also, and when you give yourself the ability to receive, you're going to feel so much more satisfied by those decisions. And I think for a lot of people, when they do that, and I would just say for people out there who are looking to make those changes in their life, the first change you have to make is going to start with this, making the space. So that's the spiritual connection, is really making sure that when they do that intentional breathing, when they with the
Yeah.
inhale and then they allow themselves to be filled with it and connect better with the things around them. And
Yeah,
uh,
like
and always remember that blueberries are magical.
well, it's like blueberries is sacred. So
Yeah,
the sacred isn't somewhere like far away, right? This is that you want to say, like it's already here. It's in your hands, it's in your breath, it's in your routine. Holiness is not like reserved for temples only or special occasions like a 1 hour spiritual moment. No, it's like live in the present moment through awareness, gratitude, the small rituals, the breathing is a small ritual for me, right? So you can do that and turn daily life into a nourishment like for the soul, right?
definitely, definitely.
Thank you. So thank you all of you for being here with us. And thank you, Gedalia, for sharing this space in this conversation. And I will see you next time. Until then, stay grounded, stay grateful.